Do you know what your attachment style is? Do you even know what it means to have an attachment style? Well, you should, especially if you are a trader, because your attachment style and how you manage it can significantly impact your trading for the better or the worse. Listen, attachment styles have everything to do with how emotionally secure you are in relationships. But what I know for sure is that attachment styles also play a significant role in how secure you are while you are actually sitting in a trade. Listen, both a romantic relationship and trading spark deep emotions within us. So managing emotions and knowing what your emotional triggers are when you are in a relationship or sitting in a trade can make the difference in whether you are successful in that relationship or that trade. Now, what will help you experience success in relationships and in trading is figuring out what your attachment style is. Because again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And how you deal with emotions in your relationships is exactly how you will deal with emotions that show up while you are actually trading. So in this video, I'm going to talk about attachment styles and how they impact your trading and your relationships. And I'm going to give you some tips and best practices for navigating the emotions that these attachment styles bring up for us while we are in both a relationship and in a trade. But first, if you are new here, I'm Vanetta, and you are watching Faith, Love, and Trading, where I talk about the intersections of financial prosperity and personal growth, especially as it relates to trading. You see, trading is just 10% technical, but it is 90% psychological, which means securing the bag is directly related to how secure you are mentally and emotionally. So if you are interested in growing your net worth and your self-worth, you found the right channel. Because here I talk about how your psychology, your psyche, and your mindset are the real secret sauce to financial freedom and personal growth. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and let's stay connected. Now, before we dive into these attachment styles that impact your ability to trade successfully and have successful relationships, I want to highly recommend a book to you so you can learn all about attachment styles on your own. The book is called Attached, the New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. Now, when I read this book, it was a game changer, and it helped me see myself not just in relationships, but in my life overall. Now, some things I've read were very hard to hear, but so necessary for my growth. And I honestly was so glad that I finally had an explanation for why I behaved in certain ways when I felt pressure or uncertainty in relationships. So now I am truly grateful to have learned about myself and my emotional makeup, because your girl was kind of all over the place when it came to relationships and trades. But you know what Dr. Maya Angelou said? When you know better, you do better. And reading the book Attached helped me to know and do better where my emotions, relationships, and trading were concerned. So, what is an attachment style? Well, an attachment style references how we were taught as children to attach and bond emotionally to a significant other. Now, the significant other that taught us to bond was our initial caregivers, and that could be our parents, our grandparents, or whoever raised us. And what we learned from our initial caregivers is just how safe, loved, and secure we can expect to be in a relationship. For example, if we had initial caregivers who met our emotional needs as children, we grew up to have healthy, secure attachments with significant others when we became adults. But if our caregivers did not meet our emotional needs, if they were inconsistent in meeting our emotional needs, or if we felt emotionally abandoned altogether, we have work to do, and we have to work a little harder to feel secure in adult relationships. So, in a nutshell, an attachment style refers to how secure or insecure you feel when you are attached in relationships with a significant other. Now, there are two attachment styles. There's the secure attachment, and then there is the insecure attachment. But insecure attachment is broken down into three different types. There's the anxious attachment, there's the dismissive avoidant, and then there's the fearful avoidant. Anxious, avoidant, and fear are insecure attachments that can do real harm in relationships. But anxious, avoidant, and fear are also emotions that can do real harm in trading. Listen, you can't trade successfully when you have anxious tendencies because you will get in and out of trades prematurely. You can't trade successfully when you have dismissive, avoidant tendencies because you may distance yourself from your trading plan or avoid it altogether. And you certainly can't trade successfully when you have fearful tendencies because you will either never get in a trade, or if you do, you may never get out of it because if it goes wrong, you fear losing money. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because successful trading and healthy relationships require the same kind of self-awareness and emotional management. Listen, as much as we probably want to, we cannot compartmentalize our emotions. We can't say, well, I'll behave this way in relationships and then I'll behave this way when I trade. It just doesn't work that way. Your emotional wiring can't be turned on and off to fit the different aspects of your life, because how you do one thing is really how you do everything. And so successful relationships and successful trading hinge on you managing your emotions extremely well. And managing emotions begins with understanding how your emotional wiring was formed as a child and how it has carried over into adulthood. And this is especially important to your trading because the market, as you know, can be very volatile. It swings up and down, and when it does, it will trigger you because you are financially vested. And so, if you don't know how you are wired, if you don't understand what your triggers are, you will not only risk blowing up your trades, you will risk blowing up your romantic relationships. So, how can you avoid blowing up your trades and your relationships? And how can you ensure you'll be most successful when you are in a trade and in a relationship? Well, I suggest you do a few simple things to help you manage your emotions and be successful in trading and relationships. And the first thing you must do is know your attachment style. Listen, all of us have attachment styles, and knowing which one you have will help you build healthy relationships and have healthy trades. Now, in full transparency, I have an anxious attachment style. And this means I can be a bit clingy. I enmesh when I get into relationships, and I want my man very close to me. And when he's not, I tend to get a little anxious that something is wrong. Now, before I really understood this and understood my emotional wiring, my trading paid a horrible price because I would be anxious when I got into a trade. Listen, my anxiety had me all over the place when I traded. I would get in and out of trades prematurely, and I would stay in trades way longer than I should have. But learning about the attachment style that I developed changed the game in my relationships and my trading. So again, I highly recommend the book that I mentioned earlier so you can learn about your attachment style and learn how to manage it. Now, another thing that I did to manage my emotions and my attachment style is to practice mindfulness and to practice emotional regulation. Listen, I took a mindfulness course that taught me to meditate, and it has changed me for the better. Listen, mindfulness exercises such as deep breathing and grounding techniques can help you stay present and calm during stressful trading situations. And it can also help you not react in relationships when you are too emotional. Listen, the mindfulness course that I took helped me practice emotional regulation by acknowledging my feelings without judging myself, which helped me to respond rationally rather than impulsively, which is what anxious people do. Now, another thing that helps me manage my emotions and my attachment style is keeping a love and trading journal. A love and trading journal can be your best friend. and I document my thoughts, my emotions, and the reasoning behind each trade. And when I get into a sticky spot in my relationships, journaling helps me think through my emotions. Now, another tip that helps me manage my emotions and manage my attachment style is having a great support system. If you seek support from your friends, your family, or even a trading mentor who understands your struggle in both trading and relationships, it's a game changer. It is top tier. See, for me, sharing my anxiety helps me alleviate stress, and it is also me allowing myself to have other insight and perspectives that might help change my mindset when it comes to love and trading, and that is so important. Another tip that you should definitely consider is to replace any and all negative self-talk with positive self-talk. Listen, positive self-talk is so empowering, and for someone like me who struggles with anxious attachment, being kind and compassionate to myself is so important because it forces me to challenge my negative thinking. See, if you're anything like me and you struggle with anxious attachment, constructive and encouraging words are the only words you need to speak to yourself. And doing so will boost your self-confidence, reduce anxiety, and allow you to make decisions from a more self-loving place. Last but not least, if you are struggling to manage your emotions in relationships or in trading, I suggest you seek professional help with a therapist, a counselor, or a coach. Listen, sometimes managing an anxious attachment style or any other style can be overwhelming, especially if you're just learning about the style that you have. So getting help to manage emotions for relationships and trading can help you be successful in relationships and trading. Listen, there are therapists and counselors who specialize in attachment styles, and they can offer personalized strategies, address deep-rooted issues, and provide ongoing support throughout your trading journey and your relationship journey. Now, I hope this video and these tips were helpful. So let me know in the comments if they were. Also, let me know your attachment style if you know it and how you manage it with your trading. Do you see parallels? Let me know what has worked for you and what has not worked for you. I want to hear all about it, so please leave me a comment below. Also, do me a favor and share this video and this channel with someone who might need this kind of support. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time on Faith, Love, and Trading.